A football club spends over $100 million on one player. The internet calls it madness. The club calls it business. Oddly enough, both can be right, because that transfer fee is almost never about buying one person. It's about buying goals, trophies, attention, sponsors, and sometimes even time itself. Sounds ridiculous. Until you see the math. Here is exactly how it works. First, the simple version. When a club buys a player, it is not buying the player as a person. It is buying the right for that player to leave one club and join another. Think of it like paying to end a contract early. Expensive paperwork, with better hair. So why would anyone pay $100 million? Because football clubs do not measure value the way most people do. They ask one question: what happens if this player works? One great striker might score the goals that qualify the club for the biggest competitions. One creative midfielder might unlock stubborn defenses every week. One defender might stop just enough goals to turn losses into wins. Small differences. Huge consequences. Winning more matches means more prize money, more television income, more ticket sales, more merchandise, more sponsors. One successful season can be worth far more than the transfer fee itself. That is the first secret. The player is not the product. Success is. Now it gets more interesting. Imagine two clubs chasing the same trophy. One signs an elite player, the other misses out. The first club becomes stronger. The second stays the same. In football, standing still often feels exactly like moving backwards. Whether you like it or not, the market keeps moving anyway. That is why clubs sometimes spend huge amounts, even when the price looks absurd. They are paying for the player. They are also stopping rivals from getting that player. Same transfer, different consequences. There is another piece most people miss. The headline says, $100 million. But clubs usually do not hand over every dollar on the same day. Payments are often spread across several years. Accountants everywhere suddenly become the most important people in football, not the sentence you expected today. Clubs also spread the cost of the transfer across the length of the player's contract in their financial accounts. So while the headline number grabs attention, the yearly financial impact can look very different behind the scenes. Of course, none of this guarantees success. Some expensive signings become legends. Others struggle with injuries, confidence, or simply fitting into a new team. Football is still played by humans. Annoyingly unpredictable humans. That uncertainty is exactly why transfers feel like investing in a startup. You are paying today because you believe tomorrow will be worth much more. You can see this every transfer window. Fans argue about prices. Pundits argue about value. Clubs quietly calculate something else: expected future returns. Not just goals, not just assists. The entire chain reaction that one exceptional player might create. So when you hear that a club spent over $100 million on one player, remember what is really happening. They are making a very expensive prediction. They believe one signing can change results, revenue, reputation, and the future of the club. Sometimes they are right. Sometimes they are spectacularly wrong. But the logic is always bigger than the player himself. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.